Hi, Veronika. How are you?
Hi, I'm fine, thanks. How are you?
Good, good. I'm so excited to be talking to you today. Thank you for agreeing to this. So maybe tell us a little bit about yourself.
I'm a UNICEF Young Reporter, and I'm also working with the Sadisi Doma team.
So how do you feel being away from your family when you're at school in Skopje? That's interesting to me.
Previous year was pretty hard for us as students.
So can you tell me a little bit about that? Because I guess your story is probably very much the same as a lot of your friends as well, right?
We were feeling like trapped into four walls. We were sitting in front of the computers. Was so unnatural, and it was pretty hard to adapt to this environment. But as the time went by, we all started to getting used to it. Now we started to get better results.
When you adapted, was it just like the same as before but on screen, or did you guys like develop new ways of working?
Well, our teachers tried to implement ways that will help us to feel like we're at school. For example, they included much talking. The teacher that's teaching sports, he wants us to run across the room and make activities, so we're feeling good during this time, and I think it's beautiful.
Yeah, I could hear even in your voice when you were describing it, you were laughing about it. So that's good that it was enjoyable. What's been the hardest part of it, do you think?
Well, the hardest part is not being with your friends, because I really can't see my friends from school. They're living in a different town. I really miss every single one of them.
Oh, wow. Okay. And what are you looking forward to the most when this is all over?
Well, I want to hug every single one of my friends. I want to hug my grandparents. I want to hug everyone I see on the street, because I can't hug anyone now, and it's sad.
My question that I like to ask a lot of young people is, where do you kind of see the country in the next 10 years?
We need to realize that we need to do something in order to make it better. For example, many people are going out of this country, as you can see, and I think that we can work this out. We can all contribute to making this country better. Every single one of us is good at something, and I think that we can try to use these abilities in order to make this country better and a beautiful place to live for all of us. UNICEF appeared to me in a really hard period of my life during the quarantine, and I started to work with the young reporters, and the young reporters and work with the young reporters made me think a lot. For example, when I was writing the blogs, when I was writing the concepts for the videos, I started thinking a lot about what can I do, how can I contribute to this community. And all of that stuff made me realize that UNICEF isn't just an organization that helps the children to have all their rights we should have, but it tells us that we're enough for a change, we're enough to achieve whatever we want to achieve, and that we're enough to make a change around us. And I think that you're doing a really good job. I need to say that you're doing a really good job, and I just want to thank you for what you're doing. And about the things that you can implement more, I think that during this time of COVID-19, you can just simply talk a little bit more about mental health, because the kids now are really affected by this, and our mental health is decreasing as the time goes by, and we're pretty exposed to social media these days. We see really bad examples of how should we feel like, and how should we look like, and how should our bodies look like. And I think that all of that stuff is fabricated, so there need to be more actions that tell the children that our lives are just right.
That's a really good suggestion, and I think that's relatively a simple thing to ask us to do. So we'll definitely look at doing those things. So thank you for that simple suggestion. And I just want to let you know that probably it's not just something that young people are feeling. So I know a lot of probably your parents, your grandparents are also having mental health issues, but not talking about them. I think this is a hard time for everyone. And I don't want to put responsibility onto young people to hold the burden for the whole society. But I think if we can talk about mental health issues together for young people who are sometimes a bit open-minded about these things, then maybe we can also change the whole society and everybody can be more comfortable. I know.
Yeah, I think that this topic is taboo and it shouldn't be.
Agree.
We should talk openly about it.
So are there any questions you'd like to ask me?
I just remember that you were a child once, and I just wanted to ask you if you miss being a child, because I already miss being that little, and I'm just 17. And are there any things that you miss doing, the things that you did when you were little?
I had a good childhood, I just want to say. I think that it's important in our hearts to stay young. So please stay young, Veronika.
I think that's really important for the adults to be childish sometimes. I don't know why they're so serious.
So I agree. I think it's important that we adults, number one, remember what it's like to be young, because we need to give the space to young people, remembering what it was like for us. Why we forget that, and then we don't give that to the next generation, right? We forget it. But also, I think, yeah, it's important that we remember to be young. But I think life can be quite serious for so many of us, with all our responsibilities, that we forget it.
Thank you.
No, thank you. Thank you for asking.